Okay, I'm back with number 7. Domain and range. I love domain and range. Express the domain as an inequality and an interval notation. You have to always, when you see the word domain, you think X, you think input, you think independent variable. And you also think left to right. So, the furthest left to the furthest right for your X values. And you can see we go from -3 to +3. We want to write it as an inequality. -3 is less than or equal to X is less than or equal to +3. This is really important. With domain and range, we use less than or equal to signs because our function does exist when X is -3. So we have to put an equal sign there to show that. And our function does exist. There's a point right there when X is +3. So we have to show that it could be -3 and +3. Same goes for the range. The range goes from the lowest point to the highest point, and we're talking y values. The range is the only time you're going to use a y value in your inequality when we're talking about graphs and features of the graph. So you can see the lowest point here is at -5, and the highest point here is at 4. So that inequality is going to be -5 is less than or equal to y is less than or equal to 4. Domain X, range Y. All right, moving on. All right, here's a nice function that we get to answer a lot of questions about. You have to do this tomorrow. We've spent a lot of time looking at graphs, so we should be pretty good about this. All right, the accompanying graph is a sketch of the function y equals f of x over the interval 0 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 7. When we tell you we're graphing something over an interval, that means there are no arrows, and that interval that we give you is your domain. From 0 to 7 with your x values. Okay, absolute maximum. Which of these points is an absolute maximum? I would say that would be D, the highest point. Now I'm looking for absolute minimum, and that would be C. That's our lowest point. Now, a relative minimum would be another low point, and that would be, I would go with A for that one. Or that, actually, relative maximum I should have done first. Oops. Relative maximum would be F or B. You could use F or B. Those are relative maximums. And then our relative minimums are E, and I would even say A. And then the y-intercept is right there, point A. All right, now we're going to answer some questions. All right, I almost paused that, but I didn't, luckily. Okay, now we're going to answer some questions. Find f of 0. These are all x values we're finding here. So where is x0 here? What's the y value there? 0. I'm giving you the x, you're finding the y. F of 4. Where is x4? Right here. Where's our graph? Right there. At point D. And f of 4 then equals 3, because the y value when x is 4 is 3. 6. Where is 6 on the x-axis? Right here. Where's our graph? Right there. At 2. So this point is 6, 2, so f of 6 equals 2. F of 2, go find 2 on your x-axis. There it is. Find your graph down here at -2. So 2, -2 is our point, which means f of 2 equals -2. This is important. This is different. Like before on the front page, I am not saying for number 9, x equals 1. I'm saying f of x equals 1. That means the function is 1. The y value is 1. Where is our y value 1? Our y value is 1 all along this line, where y equals 1. How many times does it hit our graph? Here, 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 and here. 4 input values. How many zeros does our function have? Well, zeros are where we cross the x-axis. That's important. So if you look across here, how many times does it cross the x-axis? Here, 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 and here. So also 4. Okay, next, given the interval 0, 1.5, is the function positive or negative? Okay, so we're looking for from when x is 0 to when x is 1.5. Okay, here's where x is 0. Here's where x is 1.5. What's going on with our graph? Is it above or below the y-axis? It's x-axis, excuse me. It's above the x-axis. See? X-axis. Here's our graph. Above the x-axis, so it is positive. And again, domain and range. So domain, furthest left, 0, to furthest right, 7, which we knew. I told you that was the domain up there. So the domain is 0 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 7. And then the range is the lowest, which is -2, to the highest y value, which is +3. So your range is -2 is less than or equal to y. Remember, range is always y, is less than or equal to 3. Okay, now we're checking out another interval, and we want to know if it's increasing or decreasing. So the interval 4, 5. So when x is 4 to when x is 5. So that's this area right here. This area right here. What's happening to our graph here? So you're looking at from point D to point E. Woo, you're going down that roller coaster. So you are decreasing. All right. On the page. Got a couple more problems to do. I'm going to pause my screencast so I don't get cut off. See you in a second.